I'm safe. All right, we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome. Hello, my daughter's on, Janet P, of course, Teresa L, and Gerald Tarotstache saying hi to everyone. I'm ecstatic to have my guest today, Gerald from Tarotstache and Cheyenne from Soulful Soothe. And I picked these two people, one because this is LGBTQ month pride, and that these two people are a part of that community with me. And so I wanted to talk about that, talk about cards that represent LGBTQ or present. And I will say that for a minute, I thought, well, maybe I don't need to have, that's right, Tarotstache, there's his stuff. Like and subscribe, Tarotstache, Soulful Soothe, you know.
I'm waiting for the notice to pop. I see
I know,
we're
I haven't
live,
seen
but
it either.
I have to teach you how to use the countdown.
Okay, teach me, sir. There we
So
go.
it's all good. So everybody, like and subscribe, people.
There you're right.
Do
All
it.
right.
You do not want to mess with Minnassa.
That's right.
And then and then Cheyenne.
I'm innocent.
You know, she's quiet. She's quiet. I love it. I love it. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. Pisces, you know what's going on right there.
Are you okay? So you're Pisces,
Sun and Moon, and Virgo rising.
Okay.
Virgo sun.
And I'm a Scorpio, Cancer.
Lord have mercy.
Ooh.
So you know who you better really not mess with. It's Gerald with Scorpio right there. Let you know. The Scorpio. And then Cancer. Lord have mercy.
Every day.
Lord have mercy.
Ooh,
All
more
right.
people.
And
hi, Sherry.
If we can just take a minute and send some love to Sherry. Yesterday was her birthday, 61. And do you know that COVID decided to show up and say hello to the bitch? And we're like, no, COVID. So sending you love, sending you light, Sherry, and happy birthday. Get some rest, my beautiful friend. And we will talk. So I've got these great people on the show. We want to talk about pride, talk about some decks. But I want to thank you. You introduced me to a whole new world. I got on your show one day and I was like, first of all, it's Chris from Sacred Tarot.
Chris Butler from Sacred Seed Tarot. Yes.
Sacred. And then Richie from Longman Tarot.
Yes.
And I'm like, are these gay tarot readers across the pond? I loved it. Then you had a show where you had them, some other person I didn't know, and then I think it's Elemental Cartomancy.
Yes, Chris from Elemental Cartomancy.
Yes, you got a lot of Chris's. So tell me about what is the name of the person who's Hermit's Cave?
The Hermit's Cave, that is Simon.
Simon, okay. Because I was like, so let me tell you, y'all know I love me some my wife, but I be looking at some men too. Like look at Gerald. Let me tell you, I can never understand a thing that Elemental Cartomancy is saying, Chris, because I think he's so cute.
He's from Scotland, Cheyenne.
Yes, he's from Scotland. Yes, I'm like, I don't give a damn what he is saying. He's so damn cute. And then I'm like, no, but he's really spitting some knowledge. I need to listen. He's so cute. Right. So
okay. So not only is he cute, he's extremely knowledgeable. He's extremely kind. And if you've not considered doing his going on his tarot roundtable, where what he does, and this is Chris of Elemental Cartomancy, he does something periodically. It's called roundtable readings, where he and a guest will do readings. They'll do a reading around a question, Minnassa, and then he invites people in the chat to comment on that card in that position. So it's a very interactive thing, and Chris is just full of knowledge and very kind, very generous, funny, and yes, if you're not used to the accent, you'll get it.
Exactly. And then the other person I love is I love Ben from Beneficial Tarot. Now, I think he has an accent, but he seems to be giggling through every show I have ever seen him on. He's just giggling away. And I'm like, they're like, I have never heard I've never heard him say a thing about cards. He's just giggling away. But he's that cousin that gets you in trouble because everyone's trying to keep a straight face. You're trying to push the bullshit on your parents.
I love it.
And he's just giggling. I'm like,
we all need a cousin like that.
Indeed.
I mean, I'm guessing Cheyenne's that cousin.
I am.
The giggler. It's like, what is going on? And so I love the people, Richie, Chris, Simon, Chris. And then I told my wife and my daughter, I'm like, my God, I saw Albus Dumbledore on YouTube. They're like, now they know I usually say crazy things. So I'm like, no, serious, Dumbledore. Robin from Toadstool Terror. I was like, Dumbledore is alive. He had a wand. He was saying stuff. I was like, oh my God, Dumbledore, I see you. Woo.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Hey, I want to say, may I say hi to a bunch of people in chat?
Come on, say hi to everybody.
Okay, so hi, everybody. But, Lily is your daughter?
Correct.
Oh, hi, Lily. Janet P, Sherry H, whose birthday, Kristen Louise, and Tracy Ralph. Glad to see you. And Chris is the kindest man I've ever met. Such a sweetheart. Kristen Louise and Tracy Ralph. That is creepy. That's like
you hearing yourself.
Jane the Seeker, and Jane the Seeker is Jane the Seeker and I are doing a deck casual on Tuesday.
And send her some love. She's having a lot of pain. She said it really casually this morning. I'm like, the fuck? What did you just say? She said it so quick. But we need to send her some love.
I'm on it, Jane.
All right.
You know it. Tracy Ralph, hello. Let's see. Wow, so many.
And
Ron Unconditional Love, yes.
Who's my cray friend in Canada.
Yeah, I would say that he's cray.
He is cray. I love him.
Yes. And Jamie from Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. You've seen some of the back and forth with me and Jamie, haven't you?
I think is she you had a lady that I'm always so in shock because you always have such awesome people. And she's like, I like this tarot deck because there was no men. I was like, sister, what did you just say out loud? Ain't no men in this tarot deck. That's what I was like. Whoa.
This is why I like to create a space where people can share their authentic self. I think that's really important.
It was good. So. Hey, Jay. I was just cracking up. I was like, go ahead, sister.
Oh, yeah. And Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, is not going to suffer fools lightly.
I'm good.
Trust her. She's great. Very insightful, too.
Jay? You've had some amazing. One of the things that I really appreciate about your show, that especially when I'm trying to lurk at work, they're just dropping knowledge. Like the show that had me fall in love with Gerald, Chris, and Richie was they did a show on the Fool card, and they had I don't know, they each had 7,000 decks. It was just cards flying out of it everywhere, but talking about different styles. And so Chris had a card where he talked about the Fool can sometimes be the baby, and I had never seen that, or so I thought. And then when I put out my Dreams of Gaia deck, what is the first card in there? 0, the child. So again, that innocent, that beginning. So just really awesome. Let me say, please hit the like button. Now, see, I thought I gave Ron a wrench, but I don't see him in blue. Is he blue to everyone else? I thought I made Ron a model.
People, go like and subscribe.
So
I mean, really. She is, it is a crime that she does not have as many followers.
Let's give her to 100 at a minimum.
Oh, all right, girl. We can stay at 100 if you want. I was thinking 500 so she can get her community tab.
That's true.
Is that okay, Cheyenne? I don't want to push it.
I'll drink to that.
Sip, everybody.
Sip. All right.
Ooh, what does it say on the bottom of your cup?
It says good vibes only.
And then at the
Oh,
bottom too.
that's such a unique design.
I added the sticker to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And I added the eyeballs because
googly eyes.
sometimes, and it's unfortunate they have pink eyes right now.
I see.
So nobody else is allowed to touch that, and I have to
That's
wash
right.
my hands. Have you ever had pink eye, Cheyenne?
Yes, I have.
I cannot tell you how many
she's
times
like going,
I've had pink eye.
And multiple ear infections.
Yeah,
Like
see,
both of my eardrums have burst, actually.
holy mackerel. Okay.
I'm telling
Cheyenne, you know a whole lot about astrology, don't you?
Oh, mine has a wrench and he is blue. Okay.
I wouldn't say a whole lot. I know more than the average duck.
All right. So, because I was watching some of your videos and I'm listening, I'm like going, ooh, I didn't know. Ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Ooh. And the last video you were doing, you were doing smoke with rosemary.
Yes.
Which is nice. So I'm not putting you on the spot. This is not my show. So I'm like going,
no worries at all. Yeah.
You know, I'm curious.
I'm just telling you, my heart right now, I'm trying not to cry. Did you just see what Gerald did? He honored this young Black queen. He lifted her up. See, that's what this community is about. That's what community is. That I'm telling Gerald, you have a hard time getting me to not be your friend. I'm just saying.
I'm counting on it.
Yay!
I'm gonna get Cheyenne. I may be bold and get out of my shyness and actually go. So Cheyenne, let's have you come on and do an I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Casual, and that's where we show each other like new decks, new things that bring us joy, and just have a good time and giggle. Okay. By the way, if you cannot laugh, come on, because I am up for the challenge.
Oh my goodness! Now look at this, Cheyenne. Gerald hasn't even invited me onto his station, and look.
Girl, do not make me. I am between the two of you, and I have no fear. I am between two amazing people, and I got no fear. Why should I?
Loving
I don't bite.
Loving
it. I really don't bite.
Loving it. All right. So let's talk. One of the things I wanted to talk about today are tarot decks or oracle decks. I don't know if there's an oracle deck that has pride or LGBT. I'm sure there is. But let's talk about tarot decks that you use that have pride themes or pride characters or pride related. And so I'm going to be the rude host and start because
by the way, people have subscribed to Soulful Soothe. Jamie has Wandering Mountain Bardic Path.
Thank you.
More of you should do it. For those of you who are watching back, if you click on, are the links in the description?
Yes, sorry, the links are in the description.
Okay, the link's in the description. If you're watching this in playback, you can go to the description, click on the link. It won't make you leave this video because you want to stay, and it gives you the opportunity to go over there and click like and subscribe. Really, Queen, do it.
I'm just saying, and what?
It's free.
Hit those links. Everything you need to know about Gerald and Cheyenne are in there. And so, Gerald, now my daughter is saying that she's going to tell her uncle, Michael, who is her godfather, who's been my friend for 35 years, that I am cheating with you against him, that I'm cheating.
Well, my Jeffrey is on the other side of the camera, my fiance, and we don't share. But, we can share laughter, but we don't share nothing else.
And
there is enough of us. There is enough of us to go around. And by the way, you do not want to go shopping with me.
Oh, my Lord.
I think I do based on your frames.
Yes.
I do.
Because it's like I've actually gone shopping with people to help them find an outfits and things that make them feel good. And all you got to do is buy me lunch and be willing to try on anything I hand you.
There you go. Cheyenne, I hope you're getting blown up because people are telling you that they sub. I am so happy. This is a great
I
community.
actually have my notifications turned off. My phone stays on silent and do not disturb. So
Well, when you
I'll
go
see it
take
all
them off your
after.
numbers.
Yeah,
That's
after
right.
this, I'll see it so I can be present.
All right. Very good. Very good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So
Okay.
let's talk about I
I'll stop.
knew this show was going to be chaos. We're already, what, 15 minutes in. We haven't said one thing about tarot.
But see, this is what it's all about, because people think like tarot and spirituality is just like home all the time. And it's like, fuck no, we're human. Like, we're messy and we love to fraternize and socialize and, you know, just have vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very
That's
good.
true.
So one of the things is that I didn't have it in my budget, and I didn't want to have a fight with Gail because, of course, I would lose because I could never fight my sweet queen. So I have a deck coming though, so don't tell her because she's not. She's in here. She's entertaining my brother and sister-in-law, so it's perfect. All right, Jane, catch you on the replay and get some rest, please. Sherry, you're not blue anymore. Okay, I also want you to rest, Sherry, so you could catch me on the replay also. So
Cheyenne's now at 64.
Oh, wow. Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
so much.
people.
I appreciate
Show your
that
love.
support.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have this card, which is the Two of Cups from the Divine Tarot. And what I like about it is that this is Gilgamesh and Enkidu. So Gilgamesh is from Bible times. So here are two men from Bible times who, even though they said we knew they were more than friends. And I like this representation because, of course, the Two of Cups is the lovers in the minor arcana, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like it because part of the challenge for the African American community about embracing homosexuality or the LGBTQ is that they try to say, no, that's the colonizers brought us. That's what white folks brought to us. Bullshit. Okay. Folks been loving the same type of people from day one, or maybe day 17. Not day one, because there were more than two people made on that day. Okay. Just and then here's
let's dig in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's dig into like why we have that stigma and that like mindset. So because I'm recently coming back from Jamaica, that's what's freshest on my mind. So if you guys don't know, in Jamaica, homophobia is rampant. I remember the first time I went with my really good girlfriend, Jada. We joke all the time that we're lovers and blah, blah, blah. And we were telling everyone like, oh, we're on honeymoon. And it was in the month of June. This was like 2019, I want to say. And I asked the tour guide, like, hey, like, do you guys celebrate Pride? It's June. Like in the US, we've got parties and parades and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, no, we kill them here. Ha, ha, ha. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, it's time for me to get the fuck up out of here. But what the homophobia there and in other Black communities across the diaspora stems from is during slavery times, they used to do what was called bug breaking. So in order to break the most masculine slave, they would take him in front of everyone and sodomize him in front of everyone to break his manhood. And every other slave would just disrespect him from that. And then on top of that, I just recently learned this from my dad a couple weeks ago. In the US, we had breeding farms because when the slave trade stopped, they were like, well, how are we going to produce more free labor? And they would just send slaves to mostly on the East Coast, like Maryland, the DMV area, which is why there's a lot of incest in Black families on that side of the country. And basically they would have these rooms where they would have the hunk, which was the person who was the breeder. They would put him in a room with all of these women and just make him have sex with them with like bags and just things to disguise their identity. And so they didn't know like that they were sleeping with their mom, their sister, their cousin, whoever. And so that's really what a lot of the homophobia in our community stems from.
And I think a lot of it also stems from the church being so, like one of the things I said, if someone, I don't even know where to begin, but one of the things is there, people know about King David. Well, King David had a lover. His name was Jonathan. He said he loved Jonathan the way a man loves a woman. I don't think it could be any more clear, but you never hear people talking about that story.
It's very convenient to edit in what you say,
Yes,
and
yes.
to pick and choose things to support what you think, not the true intention or the message.
Very true. Very true. Last 2 years ago, or it was 2019, first they took Pride. This is Pride Weekend, the beginning of Pride Month here. And so, but 1 year, 2019, they actually pushed it to September. Like today is a beautiful mild day. Usually it's like scorching, 100 degrees, 100% humidity. And so we marched in that because the spiritual center that I'm a part of is very accepting. And of course, me and Gail and a whole bunch of gay folks were marching, and we came across this group of people just yelling in their microphone from the church. And I got out of the line and went and stood right in front of them and started throwing scriptures back. 1 John 4:7-8, and they were just like, well, first of all, they got super shocked. It's like, okay, I know Bible verses too. So very true.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of healing that still needs to happen. And it's not just for Black folks, because white folks in church that are also told you're not good, and people getting thrown out of their houses because it's like, how are you going to get down with a God that wants you to hate your child?
Yes.
And see, I commend you for that, because I know I'm the youngest one on the show and probably the youngest one in the room, but I'm absolutely exhausted at explaining myself, my choices, and going back and forth. The Bible also says not to argue with a fool. So there's that. But for me, it's most exhausting to try to go back and forth, because most people don't know. Like, I know what hermeneutics is. I know some of the stuff from seminary because my mom's a minister, but it becomes a null point when you're arguing using a text that people aren't critiquing or looking at through a lens that's different from their own identity. So if you can't queer a text, if you can't look at a text from an African-American perspective or an Indian perspective, then I really don't want to sit and have discourse with you, because that tells me everything I need to know. You're too closed-minded. You can't sit and have a discussion, and you're really looking to convert me, and I'm not interested in that.
And well, let's just stay on this tack. So Gerald, one of the things I was very surprised, I came across Hermit's Cave, and he was talking about, he was going over a new deck, which I think was LGBTQ deck, but he was talking about the importance of representation. And I will honest, I was like, you're a really white man. You're British white. You are everywhere. How could that matter? So, and then I thought, okay, check yourself, Minnassa. What are you saying? So tell me, as a wonderful, gorgeous, love-filled gay man, what is it like to be in this magical space? And what does it mean to you? Do you care if there's gay people in cards or not?
Well, first of all, being a man in the space, I tend to be in a minority, because a lot of times females are the ones who are doing tarot readings. You don't oftentimes see men. I am also a practicing witch, and sometimes, yes, all souls are worthy of love.
Thank you, Ron.
And so the idea that I am a practicing witch is weird, because people think witch is a gender specific term. It's not. And so for me, representation is something, when I'm doing readings for someone, depending upon the question, yes, there you go. Hear one another is more important than anything. Yes. I think that's important, to hold that space too. You have to be willing to understand. So it's important for me when I'm using a deck that the person that I'm reading for can see themselves in the deck. And sometimes that's very hard to do. We are very fortunate in the last 5 years, in particular the last couple of years, there's so many new decks out there that have a variety of people, skin tones, body shapes, relationships being represented. It's very, very important. And so for me, it's important that I can see myself in the deck and being represented, and the person that I'm reading for can feel that as well. So did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay.
Because sometimes I have to reflect on my own prejudices. Like I'm like, these white men don't, but it's okay. But I've said this before. I was talking about representation, being represented, and there was this beautiful blonde white girl, and she was saying something like, and I go, "What do you mean you have a hard representation for you is hard?" I was getting ready to read her something, right? I said, "You are on every magazine. You are on every TV show. You are in every book." She said, "But every one of those women are perfect. They have no flaws." And she says, "So that messes with your mind." And I thought,
Yes.
oh my gosh, okay, that I need to extend that love and understand that even what I'm seeing as represented is not true or actual.
Yes. And I think it's important to, when somebody says something like that, for me, my first response is, tell me more. What do you mean by that? Because it's a way to connect. I want to know what you mean. What is your experience? Because if I understand your experience, I can support you in your experience and be mindful of how we interact.
Very true.
So
very, very true. So let me show my last card. So this is also from the what is the name of this card?
Okay, by the way, the first one that you did was Tarot of the Divine. So purchase responsibly, know your limits, people.
Your limits, exactly.
Tarot of the Divine.
We could do a deck chapter with that one.
This is a lovely deck.
So
this is a lovely deck.
We'll
talk. We'll talk.
All right, we will talk.
We'll talk, because there's a lot of people who are very, there are a lot of people who like this. Cheyenne, are you familiar with this deck?
I am. I don't have it though.
Okay. I think one of the things that's wonderful about it is it's so varied with the tales. It's from around the world. It's like taking a lesson. It's like, oh, okay. It's like sitting around the fire with people, hearing the tales they tell. So anyhow.
Yes, my daughter loves that deck. She loves to get readings from that deck from me. Very true. And so here's another LGBTQ representation in Light Seers Tarot, the 10 of Cups, rainbows and a woman couple together in the happy 10 of Cups. All right, so Lily's saying that's back to Tarot of the Divine, so diverse and gorgeous art. Yes, because it takes tales and narratives and stories from around the world. So it's very beautiful. Okay, Cheyenne, what is your first deck?
Well, the only deck that I've planned to talk about is the Black Queer Tarot by Kendrick Day.
Okay, I'll hold it still. Black Quilt, and you know what? I will go back and add the link to this. Okay, talk on.
Yeah, so it's a newer deck. It's an indie deck, and what I love most about this deck is that they're all queer images, but most of them are Black presenting folk. And I'm pretty sure, I'm a little rusty on my queer history. I'm pretty sure all of the court cards and all of the major arcanas are fathers and mothers and elders of the community. So
nice.
This is King of Cups. This is Queen of Swords. I mean, it's just
is that Octavia Butler?
I believe so.
I think it may be. And it would be interesting because, of course, she's a writer, so the use of words and thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Like there's just so much thought and intention behind this deck. Like I love it.
Oh, so pull out the High Priestess. Wandering Mountain Bardic Path says the High Priestess here. I'll put it up here. Why did you
That's
not?
so funny because I had this card sitting right here.
Here we go.
Do you?
The High Priestess is gorgeous.
Yes.
My favorite card in that deck.
It is. It's I mean just okay, I don't want to be inappropriate, so I'll just
No, say go ahead.
Be it. Do inappropriate. If you do, I will.
Just I love this card specifically. I mean, the crystals, the jewelry on. Let's see, the jewelry here.
Is there a way?
I mean, how she's holding her tits, like, oh my god, like.
Yeah.
Just
drag her, drag. Do that again, and then drag Cheyenne into that.
Do this again.
Or the other one, and then drag Cheyenne into it. The big one, and then the two on the side, the three on the side, and then just click and drag Cheyenne into that. There you go.
There you go. Show this so you can see the deck.
So
yeah,
this is
lovely.
This is my favorite card.
So is she in like a rose quartz lotus?
Yeah, it looks like it. And
it looks like across the deck is the moon, across the top of the moon.
Mm-hmm. The moon.
And then like she's in a rose.
I'm a moon slut, so there's that. And then she's got like a golden orb, but you could also say that that's a moon behind her head here.
Oh, okay.
So I love this card. I think it was a couple months ago, Minnassa, you were doing a show with a couple of women and talking about like how we see ourselves, the divine feminine within the tarot deck. Okay, and the High Priestess is definitely who I identify with the most in this season of my life. And here lately, anytime I'm doing a reading for myself and it's like super intense, the High Priestess, no matter what deck I'm using, she pops out. So moon sweat. Yes.
I love that.
My goodness. Sharon, Siphon, KD, you have walked into the madness of this show today. Welcome.
Oh, okay. So since y'all are here, make sure you go over to Soulful Soothe, like and subscribe.
Thank you.
By the way, don't come on my channel if you're uncomfortable with me shouting praise in your general direction and promoting you shamelessly, because there is no shame. I will do it.
Exactly.
There is no shame.
Cheyenne,
I mean, it's definitely something I'm working on, though, is being more receptive.
See, you got you're in good company. Here is KD, my sweet, precious KD.
I'll look at her profile picture, too.
That's
like all
true.
The things there.
And you know what, Cheyenne, me, you, and KD and I are going to put together a thing for the Nag Hammadi index, talking about the Nag Hammadi, which are the Gnostic Gospels. So we might be able to have a whole convo because, I told you got to start with the Bible. Good. You have to start with the Council of Nicaea. And we were both like, we're so nerdy.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, please share the name of that deck again, or just put that up so people can see it.
It's the Black Queer Tarot by Kendrick Day.
Okay.
It's the indie deck. I believe it came out this year, or maybe late last year. It's really, really new.
The Black Queer Tarot.
See, and this is one of the things that I really appreciate about this day and age. There are so many decks that are coming out, and it has given an opportunity. I mean, I don't think there can be too many decks. I mean, just to be honest with you. Oh, okay. Hi. I don't think there can be too many decks. I think we need to have an opportunity for options, and I don't have to like it. And so if it doesn't work for me, I just don't buy it. I know that's shocking. I don't buy a deck. So,
So Gerald, what deck do you have for us?
Well, will I be allowed to show more than one deck?
Of course, sir.
Okay. This is the Zany Tarot, and I have, let me see. Let me make sure. Okay. This is the anniversary edition of the Zany Tarot. And Zane from Tarot Token Witchery created this. And I want to show the anniversary deck because it is, it's very inclusive.
So let me interrupt you for 1 minute. This is how you can tell this young woman is my child. Look at her comment. Infinite decks, infinite possibility.
And, you know, and by the way, that can be very overwhelming. And that's why things like YouTube are great, where you can see flip throughs and walkthroughs of things. So I wanted to show this. This is the world of the card. And Cheyenne, as you were showing the High Priestess, this is one of my favorite world cards, because, I mean, who doesn't love a woman who is in love with her body and just, I mean, she's dancing. I mean, hello, that is what the world is about.
Patrice, welcome.
Patrice is here. Hello, Patrice.
Yeah, I figured she was a friend of yours, because I tried to, you know, I learned from you, Gerald, that you say hello to people, you focus on your guests, and then you say hello to them again. But she's new to me, so I wanted you to know that she was here.
Patrice is quite lovely, very kind, and I was blessed because Patrice last year leaned into her discomfort and came on a live with me and Richie to have a deck casual. But so we have, like, for instance, we have the Seven of Earth, and in this card we have 2 men and a child. And so a lot of times you may not have that, and it's just like, okay, that's the way it is. Then we have the Queen of Water.
Oh,
talk about that, you know, boom. And this is the Two of Cups. Come on,
okay.
How sweet is that? I mean, really, it's so sweet. One of my favorite Eight of Wands that I've ever seen is this one.
Oh.
So it really does. It's you know, it's, you know, by the way, you know, yes, it was a great experience. I mean, for me. So I love that card because of the rainbow. And by the way, you know, the gays do not own own the rainbows. They're available for everyone.
That's true for Skittles.
Yes, yes. I actually was having Skittles last night. I was thinking about that. Then we have this, which, you know, as we look at it, it's like, are those 2 females holding hands? We don't know, but look at the variety and the skin tones there. It makes me happy. You know, this, which is the 10 of Water. I mean,
okay, so the 10 of Cups, happy family.
Yeah, happy family. I love this card, by the way. Here's this is the King of Earth. Come on, what is more King of Earth than a mother nurturing her child?
Indeed.
You know,
indeed,
and you know.
Indeed.
So, by the way, you know, hashtag nudity alert. Well, it's not nudity; it's a natural thing. So that is the Zany Tarot, the anniversary edition. And it's an extremely inclusive deck for me, and I appreciate it because it presents everyday life with the things that go on in my life. I don't have any children. I never want to have any children. But it just makes everything everyday life. So you have 2 dads, 2 moms, different colors. There you go.
Now, does he have a whole set of decks? Because Wandering Mountain said she has all of his decks.
He does. He has this one, and he has the Zany Spirit, which is a deck where it's all watercolor based. He has the Zany Oracle, and then the Interconnection Oracle. So, and lots of option there too. So, and those are available on Make Playing Cards. Hashtag know your limits, purchase responsibly.
Correct.
I love that both of the decks that we've just talked about are inclusive in just one aspect. They have a lot of intersectionality, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. And so that's a real. I mean, I was thinking about this. An all-inclusive deck would be almost impossible to create. You only have 78 images to do it, to try to be all-inclusive. So for me, I'm okay with having several decks that will give me that inclusivity. Is that making sense? It's
Yeah,
so, and so I'm like, I'm all about the, it's me. So I'm going to, I'm an overachiever. I'm going to use 3 or 4 decks when I do a reading for someone, because different decks have different feels for me and different themes. So I'm paying attention to that. So
yeah. I mean, it's really impossible to include all of the intersectionalities and all of the different identities and all of that. I think what's important is that we try. I mean, it's
yes,
not possible, but I mean, it's not possible to include or incorporate every single aspect of every single identity. But when we find these pockets of places where you have 2 identities or 3 or 4 that are merged together, I find that very powerful.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right,
Amazing.
Gerald, what's your next deck?
Oh gosh. Okay. You should see my table. By the way, I don't know if you know this about me, Cheyenne. I have a few decks, just a few.
Not like
many.
300.
I only have one.
And that's all you need. That's all you need. I want to talk about the This Might Hurt Tarot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Cheyenne, you familiar with it?
I am not. Ron has 200 decks. Is he saying Ron has 200 decks or Gerald has 200 decks? I thought he had 300 decks.
Well, I probably have closer to 500, but this is.
Lord.
Oh, you know what? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I thought you meant that you created.
Oh no, I did not. No, I am. No.
Are you
Isabella,
a deck creator, though?
Am I a what? No.
Are you
not a deck creator? Okay. No, not yet. So This Might Hurt. Know your limits. Purchase responsibly. And what I like about this, I mean, look at that High Priestess. I mean, come on. It's like, oh yeah, it's okay. So if I were to, let's put the High Priestess here. So this is what it's like, people. I am surrounded by 3 High Priestess. Look at that. Can you see? I mean, don't they all, they're all having that, don't be messing with us. We got that. Yes. We've got that power. Yes. And so one of the things that I appreciate about this, like with the 2 of Cups.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And the 2 of Cups is one of those cards that it talks about healing. And we many of us are fortunate enough to understand the healing power of.
Yes, Patrice. I heard him.
Yes, Patrice. Yes. Okay. But the healing power of human connection and the power of touch. So and so in this deck there's a lot of representation, just different people. You have like the King of Swords. Come on, it's not and I can't.
That's what I like. Someone in a wheelchair, because I think part of the thing is that everyone's so ableist, but it's like, okay, people wear glasses or need a cane. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. And the King of Swords is a very powerful person. So to have this powerful divine masculine in a wheelchair, I love that.
Yes. And
I'm supposed to be putting the links in, and I got all caught up in it.
Oh, it's This Might Hurt.
Okay.
This Might Hurt. And so I just appreciate this, because when I meet someone, I want to get to know the person. My first thing isn't, I don't go, oh, well, are you gay? Are you lesbian? Are you bisexual? Are you pansexual? That's not how I operate. But what's wonderful, and what's wonderful is there's this is a representative card deck. I see so many people, and there you go. I wanted to show this card too. I love this world card.
All right.
It's like work it. I mean, come on. I'm not going to mess with her. I want her on my team when shit goes down. I want her on my side. So, but yeah. And so anyhow, and by the way, I'll be honest.
So your friend Wandering Mountain Bardic Path has to leave. You have been such an asset to this show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jamie. I mean, come on, how cute is that?
The hangman. It's like, yeah, let's get some of that. Okay. All right. I'll control myself.
Say it. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, that's the This Might Hurt tarot.
So now, Gerald, the one thing that I want to talk about, so I want everyone to, I'm going to ask Gerald a question. I want you to watch his energy. Gerald, what is the name of your fiance?
Jeffrey.
Now, did you see that? Did you see that? He was all like rough and tough, but I love it anytime he talks about Jeffrey. That's sweetness, that's softness. And I want you to talk about
They're talking about you, Jeffrey.
I want to talk about that. I can put in the link if I know, Sharon, I thought you were, okay. One of the things that I love about when Gerald talks about Jeffrey, a very similar feeling that I have about Gail. One of the things that Gerald, you said one time is that you like doing small things for Jeffrey. And I think especially because when you're an older couple, there's really not, it's like Gail don't need nothing really. And I ain't giving her no money because I'm taking her money. So that's a whole different story. I'm saying, right? She makes more money than me always has. Always has, right? But for me to get up in the morning and turn the Keurig on before she gets up.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the things about your relationship with Jeffrey that you enjoy.
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have?
I know, huh? 7 hours later, we're like, okay.
Yeah. Jeffrey is extremely insightful and he's thoughtful. He's an introvert and I'm an extrovert, and we have figured out how to operate. I will actually articulate because I'm retired and he goes into work. And so when he comes home, beyond YouTube, I'm by myself. I'm talking to my dog. And when he gets home, he needs a little bit of time to adjust to home. And so what's wonderful is I will actually say, are you okay with me, thinking out loud in your direction? And he will say yes, or he will say no. And if he says no, I know when he's ready, he will tell me because he can be completely present. And I think that's one of the powers of Jeffrey is he's extremely thoughtful. He's articulate. He will I'm an out loud thinker, so he will take what I've said and try to frame it differently to help me understand what I'm saying. And so, and he's very gracious and very generous, and I think part of his love language is, he likes the small gifts, he likes the small things, so it's very nice.
Very good. I love it. Yeah, I love that energy change. Indeed. Now I'm going to put Cheyenne up here because I want to talk with Cheyenne. So Cheyenne and I met, I don't know how, somehow I must have been talking about queer stuff. So she reached out to me and she tells me that she's queer. And I'm like, okay, good. And then she tells me that she has a male who's her partner. So I'm like, okay. And then she tells me that her partner before was a man. I'm like, okay. And then I see her partner, he an older white man. And then she says he's not her sugar daddy. So I'm like, WTF, what is going on? So I was really kind of feeling some kind of way, but I sent her a quote from a page on Facebook that I followed for years called Have a Gay Day. And what it said is, just because a couple is hetero presenting doesn't mean that they're not queer. So tell me about what you love about, what is your man's name?
Copeland.
That's
But I call him Mr. Cole.
Look at that big smile. Look at the smile. Look at this. So tell me something about Mr. Cole.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. If she had a fan, she would be doing this.
Exactly, because you see how she perked up. Look at her. Look at her.
Is that a lovely blush I see on your cheeks?
Indeed.
No.
Yes, it is. So tell us something about him. Tell us something about him.
Well, he is my Cancer sweetheart. When Gerald was talking about Jeffrey, it sounds a lot like our dynamic. I'm more introverted. I would say that I'm an ambivert. So I pull from both sides, the introvert and the extrovert. I can turn it on, I can turn it off. He's 100% extroverted. Like if he could leave the house every day for several hours, he would. Me, on the other hand, I stay at home for like 3-4 days without ever crossing my threshold. And I'm perfectly content with that. But I don't think I've actually shared this publicly yet, but we met through Instagram. We met September of 2019. It was just one of those like happenstance sort of things where I accidentally followed him or he accidentally followed me, and we started chatting back and forth, liking each other's posts. And then we met September of 2020. March of 2021, so last March, he randomly, like out of the blue, messaged me and was like, we talk about New Orleans a lot. I have a trip planned. If you have the time and you can meet me there, I'd love to meet up and hang out. And I was coming out of a really, really tough breakup. And I was like, I really just want to be by myself and I want to heal and blah, blah, blah. And something told me to just take the chance. So I just went and had a really fun time. And the entire time, like it was like 3 or 4 days we were in New Orleans. Entire time I'm like putting up all these barriers. Like I remember at one point we were sitting on the rooftop of my hotel because I was like, I'm putting all these like barriers between us. I was like, I'm not going to stay in the same hotel as you. Like I'm getting another hotel. Like I'll have my own room. I'm an independent Black woman. Like I don't need you. Like leave me alone. And so we're on the rooftop and it was just such a lovely evening. I mean, it just rained and the skies were opening up and the sun is setting and we're taking in the ambiance and walking around. I just did my own little photo shoot. And he sat on the bench next to me and he looked at me and he's like, this is a really nice moment, blah, blah, blah. And I could feel that he was about to try to kiss me. So I jump up and walk away. But no matter how many times I've tried to push this man away, he stays right there. I'm not going to cry. He stays right there. In some of my darkest moments, he's been so supportive. Last August, when my grandmother passed away, I was out of town. I was in Austin, and I was supposed to be celebrating my brother's engagement. I was his groom of honor. And I get this phone call that my grandmother passed away, and I'm just like, my earth is shattered because she is my tourist queen and one of my very best friends. And he was like, you know what, we already had a weekend planned, but he was like, I'm coming to get you. I'm going to be with you. He took me to the water, which is my happy place. I always have to be by the water when I'm grieving or just releasing or anything. And he took me to Hippie Hollow. If you don't know what Hippie Hollow is, look it up. And let me just have my moment. And when I looked back, he was just there. And I was like, how beautiful of a image to just have a partner who lets you go be free, do your own damn thing, but it's like, I'm right here. I'm willing to be your rock and to be your anchor and support you and give you whatever you need. Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore about him.
All right, well, let me come on. I want to say hi to Jackie J. And I also want to talk about Gail. I think one of the things, and so it's very funny because I, much to your surprise, I'm sure, am the extroverted one in our relationship. Gail is a, I know, huh?
Surprise.
No, little hands. Gail is a Cancer. So I'm also that type. Like, she had to literally tell me, now, Villa, right? Minnassa, if you want to do something, you can do, like, every weekend I want to be out and about and doing stuff, and she's not down with that. So I'll say this weekend, we're going to have friends over. So my brother and sister-in-law are here. The next 3 weekends, we're not doing anything. But like you, Gerald, I'll be like, I've been having some thinking. And she'll either say, okay. And then I'm just blurting stuff out. But yes, to be able to do the small things for her, little things. And I met her in the midst of a horrible, horrible divorce, just a horrible relationship. And she stood with me and spoke for me when I didn't have a voice, which is not very often, but she did that for me. And she loves me, cray and all. And when you love me, that means you love my daughter and you love my mom. And I dragged her around to all my friends. And yes, Sherry, please go back to bed. And I had some friends tell me, they're loyal Cancer. That's right. I don't want to start crying. I cannot even put into words what her support has meant to me, her strength, and that I can be 100% myself. So that's wild hair, tore up clothes. I ain't taking no bath today. Don't tell me nothing. And like 45 things in every room of mine. Now she's eventually going to tell me you need to get that mess up. But while I'm doing that,
yeah,
she's okay. She is okay.
And how long have you two been together?
We have been together 8 years. We're coming up on our 2-year wedding anniversary.
Beautiful.
So, and I wanted to share our stories because we are gay tarot readers, but we're people in love. We're people with wonderful relations, and I always love it. Yeah, that's why I asked Gerald. Say something about Jeff, because the minute he does that, you can see that energy that he may be 100% on, and you bring Jeffrey, and all of a sudden it's like he goes for
there you go. Yes,
and then here he has to come back.
Yes. Well, yeah, and that happened to all three of us, as we were talking about, the one who helps to fulfill us and honors us, and helps us to be our most authentic selves.
That's very well said. Very well said. Very well said. Well, my brother and sister-in-law are here. Gail's in there regaling them with information. Yes, Ron, thank you. Happy Pride. They are sharing your link again. I am so grateful. I wonder, it's very funny. I have like 12, 20 people in the chat, and then 145 people view it. So all of you who view this later, thank you. Please go to Tarotstache and Soulful Soothe and make sure that you are following these awesome people who have given me their time this morning. I am so grateful. And then their vulnerability and their honesty. I really appreciate that. So all of you who view after the fact, thank you. If you can believe it, I'm going to finish Moonchild. Yes, I'm going to finish early. So I did let my brother and sister-in-law in. I ran out and I'm like, hey, I'm doing my show. How do you want to get in the house? You want to come to the front door? You know where the room is? Okay, see you later. So, and of course it's Pride Weekend here. It's a month long. And so we're trying to go out to eat. And of course, downtown, we've got about 2 hours before it blows up. The parade is happening here.
Yes.
So it's funny, it is the South. So they also have a Black Pride, but it's the 3 states, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee, because, Mississippi and Arkansas have minimal love for gay people at all. Yes, the links are under the video. Thank you, Ron. And so I just wanted you to see some gay folks in love, some gay folks in magic, people crossing intersectionality. And I'm going to put Gerald big again, because one of the things that I love is look at his background, the year of the wheel. Very beautiful. And
Jeffrey bought that for me.
Honored. Gerald, Cheyenne, thank you so much for coming on today. And thank you
for having me.
Thank you for being, that's what we need, authenticity. I tried to have someone else come and be on my show, and they were just very offish. And I was like, I get it. You got a bunch of, I'm not going to say nothing, but you two, thank you for opening your heart. Yeah, you know what? Why honor that when I have two people who are loving and
I'm not going to
gracious?
say anything.
That's right.
You
Loving
don't
and
have to,
gracious.
girl.
There you go.
Mhm.
Loving and gracious to me. So I appreciate it. So everyone have a beautiful weekend. Happy Pride. Oh, your wife is living in North Carolina. Okay, we kind of neighbors, Patrice.
Mhm.
And so thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for everyone who looks. Make sure you please who looks afterwards. Make sure you hit the thumb ups. Have a blessed and beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.